Hello. Okay, there's nobody online. Hello, everyone. Welcome to As You Are's WeWednesdays. It's going to be 7. So I'm going to invite our guest. I can't seem to find them. Just give me a minute. Let me just wait for them to come online. Sorry, just a minute. It's time. I think I found the problem. 1 second. Sorry.
Hi, hello.
Hi. Hi, welcome to Wednesday.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy
Are
to
you
be
all
here.
set and settled?
Yes, I am. I am. Very happy to be here.
Thank you. So let me just, I don't think you really need introductions, but let me just, say what I know about you. I mean, I've seen your coming out videos, both of them. So that was like quite relatable and inspiring that, you really brought out like a huge chunk of relatable stuff for Indian lesbians, I feel. And then you've also done a lot of videos around how good or bad the representation of queer community is,
Hmm.
and thus somewhere you ended up making the stuff you really wanted to see. So
Hmm.
that I think that I would like to I want to figure out how you got to a point where you are like frustrated and said, I have to do this myself.
Uh-huh.
So in the intro, let me know if I missed out anything, and we have some interesting questions for you later also
Hmm.
from the
Yeah, no,
audience.
I definitely don't think you missed out anything, but I think I'd love to hear more about As You Are and what it's about because I think like anyone who's watching this video really should know more about it because I
Yeah.
personally love what you guys are doing.
So yeah, I mean, quick thing about As You Are would be we started out as a matchmaking app, launched about a year ago, and now we're expanding the space into sort of like a community and a group chat space where there is less pressure on that one-on-one chat that never seems to go beyond just hi, how are you in like dating apps that we know of.
Yeah.
So our main focus is to like create a space where people can just talk about everything and anything queer in a group setting, which like personally we feel that there's less pressure in that situation.
Yeah. I think
So
that's really wonderful. The minute I found out about your app, I was very curious. Like I was like, something has to be wrong with this because it feels a little too perfect. You know, I was waiting for the catch. I think I still am actually.
Okay. Right. So let me ask you the first question. So, what was your main motivation? I mean, I think we know the motivation, but how was the journey to figuring out what is the content that you want to make and how you get your ideas, or how has been the journey?
I think that it's been pretty, I mean, creatively trying to figure out stuff that I'd like to make content about. It's been pretty easy for me because I think I didn't think much about how it would be received because I really felt like I was mostly making it for myself, and it
Right.
felt pretty odd coincidence to me when people would say like, "Oh, this is so relatable. Oh, my, it's like telling my story only." I'm like, "Really? I also didn't know. I didn't. I found relatability to this as well. So I had no idea previous to this. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. I don't think I expect my content to be understood maybe by someone who's not queer, or I don't expect to educate people about it because it's pretty exhausting to be like queer and having to educate everyone about it. I don't think it's really our responsibility a lot of the time. So I'd say that if there's any premise for my content creation, it would probably just be that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching that shirt wala, that suit thing, and I was like, this is so true. So yeah, I mean, I completely agree. So we've all like seen on YouTube your coming out story and like pretty relatable. But what about life after that? How has it been with your extended family? I mean, we've heard reactions of your family, but what about the extended family? Are you like out to them, or how has it been, or your workplace, or your like old friends who thought you were like straight all their life?
So it's been interesting. I think that's one thing I didn't expect at all. And I do love this question because I don't think I've ever been asked it before. But I think with my family, I didn't tell them that I was doing this. I told my siblings that, I'm
Hmm.
creating content, blah, blah. I didn't make a big deal of it, or I didn't talk about it much. I wasn't like, hey, my new video is out. If they happen to see it, they happen to see it. If they happen to like tell me, oh, it's so sweet or something, I'd just be like embarrassed and try to run away from them. But other than that, like I never want to tell my parents. Like I still hope my parents never find my channel because I don't know to what extent they understand or how much they want to know. And I'm really happy that they do know I'm queer. They have been in relationship with women and all of that. But I don't want them to like. It's not something I really expected their support for. But in terms of my
Right.
extended family, I was a little surprised because there's a few of like my cousins and stuff who I never really wanted, even thought about coming out to. They ended up finding my page and they were really sweet about it. They were like, oh, it's so funny. Oh, it's so nice. I was like, really? You're cool with this? Like, it felt like a really unexpected gift, honestly, for me. And in terms of friends, I think most of my friends knew I was queer. I would be pretty insulted if any of them didn't actually. I mean, I put an effort on it. But I think a few old friends from high school and stuff, it was nice to connect with them and just receive their support and stuff because it's not something I ever expected from them at that age. So getting it
Right.
now so many years later was, yeah, it was very heartwarming, honestly.
Yeah, I think family, I mean, I tell this a lot of people. I mean, be safe when you come out to them, but family can just sometimes surprise you. Like, you don't
Yeah.
expect them to be like, it's okay, we'll figure out. But when you hear that, you're like, okay, this is not what I thought. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, even for that matter, even some school friends, like you said, no, it's insulting that they don't know. I remember coming out to one of my school friends, no, college friend, and just like, yeah, I knew it. I'm like, oh, you knew it before I knew it.
How nice of you.
You should have told me. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then again, connecting to the queer community after you've come out. I mean, I've seen the video where you spoke about how it was on dating apps, but generally, how was it connecting? How hard or easy was it to meet people just on a level of friends, not with the intention of dating in online spaces? How was it?
This- I think anyone here would know that it's a nightmare. Like I mean, I tried like pretty hard. Like I think when I was like pretty young, when I was like 15, 16 and stuff, and I was just coming out. all I could see were like stories of, people living in like very different countries, very different cultures than me. I was like, okay, fair enough. And I'd try like Tumblr mostly, like
Hmm.
because for me Tumblr was the most queer friendly social media apps that existed. And even then, it wouldn't be like I really connected with people. I just maybe see the occasional piece of content that mentioned the words, Desi and queer together. I'd be like, oh wow, this is amazing. But other than that, I think uh, it's really trying to connect with people through online communities, like with other queer people. It's not something that I really found the avenues to do very easily. Granted, maybe I didn't try as hard as I could have, but with whatever I did try, it just didn't seem like there was anyone else like me out there for the longest time. And if they were, maybe it was like some like side of the show magazine or this and that, some like
Right.
slightly creepy. It didn't seem like there was really any much of a sense of community. And even like when I did try dating apps as well, it didn't feel like I was really connecting with the community at any point. I really think that only happened once I started to date as well. Before that, like gay people were like unicorns to me. I would spot them once a year and then I'd celebrate for them. That's it.
That person in plaid shirt.
Yeah, I hope so, please. Like, I hope you just didn't bite because you're, I don't know, brothers with the
Like, was there a phase where you felt like, am I the only queer person around?
Yes,
Like,
I did.
hopefully not in the country, but
I think, yeah, I was like, yeah, I definitely, I didn't, logically speaking, I knew I wasn't the only queer person, but I did wonder where everyone was. And
right.
whenever, like, I would just open the newspaper and there'd be some, like, piece of news regarding the LGBTQI community. It's like some highlight for me, I see the word lesbian or gay anyway, I'm sure immediately I can, like, catch it from, like, any newspaper because I'm like, oh, this is about me. Yeah, I don't
So
think.
where are all these people?
No, these people, yeah, I had no idea. So no, I don't think I
Yeah.
ever chance to connect with a lot of people.
Yeah, because I started going to offline events like back in Chennai in 2010
Mm,
or 11. I remember sitting in a room of 20 people, and there was no other woman who identified as lesbian. And at that moment, I was like in 2010, so there's not a lot of digital stuff going around. So at that point in my life, I was like, shit, am I the only lesbian in the whole of Chennai? So I've had that moment. So so essentially, because a lot of things are now digital, and there are a lot of spaces that are catering to, like you said, dating. But again, I've heard this from a lot of people. Not everybody is like essentially looking to date people. So
okay.
again, I think that's where sort of as you are comes in as a place where people can just connect with other people, whether it's around an interest or whether they want to talk about baking with other queer people or about biking or even about movies or just rant about representation. So we want to basically create a space like that, and that's essentially the focus of what we have at As You Are right now. Um, so yeah, getting to representation, how like just talking about the Desi stuff first, how good or bad has it been figuring out and watching Indian queer representation?
Um, I think it's getting better. That's for sure. I mean, I think that it's something I feel like we do hold like those content creators responsible for, but it's like do
Yeah,
better. But I think so far it's been pretty. I mean, like minimal. It's like nowadays, I think for the past 3 or 4 years, it's become like a thing that there's like one or two movies that come out every year, each in its own like sort of problematic way. And then, we all sit and we talk about it and we all cry about it. We're like, why is it so bad? And hopefully it is getting slowly better. But I think it's extremely minimal. And I think that a lot of the times they do use these tropes to just sort of seem a little more liberal and progressive. They don't care much about how authentic the story is and how it makes the queer community feel. They care more about how woke it makes heterosexuals
yeah.
feel when they watch like cisgender heterosexual people. Like, do they feel like cool when they watch it? Do they feel like woke? And as long as they do, yeah, very happy. Like, I feel like that's still where a lot of people are coming from. But yeah, I do think like there's so many like web series and stuff. Like a lot of stuff is coming out, and I really just hope that as more things come out, more quality things come out, actual queer stories and experiences can be shared, and hopefully, I just feel like it's no way but up. So hopefully, it'll just keep improving.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I mean, there is bad stuff, obviously, but
Yeah,
as there is more stuff, the bad stuff sort of gets erased, is what I
yeah,
hope. So yeah, I mean, I just like wish the makers take the criticism positively rather
hmm,
than just say, "Oh, these people don't like us working on this." No, we want you to do better, which is why we are like
yeah, exactly.
putting ourselves through the content and criticizing it, as triggering as it is for us.
Difficult for us, honestly. Yeah.
So, so we have some interesting questions. I see questions now here also, but some questions we've got on our DMs.
Oh,
First one was somebody wants to know if you want to date. I'm not sure if you want to answer that.
I am very in a happy relationship. So I did want to date, and now I am dating, and actually my partner is actually bombing up your comment section right now, just being very supportive and sweet. So yeah, I do like dating as long as I'm dating my partner. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is an unforgettable moment. I'm not sure what the context is, but
Um, yeah, I'm gonna maybe uploading my first video. I think that works in this context. That was pretty fun for me. But yeah, a little
uploading
difficult.
it and so the next question is, how did you convince your parents to make yourself online, and how did you get to know what you are right?
I didn't convince my parents. I didn't tell them. This is all subterfuge. Like if they walk into my room right now, I'm screwed. I don't know what to tell you guys. I didn't convince them. I hope they don't know. Yeah, the only answer I have to
Um,
that.
so another question is navigating breakups in a queer relationship and not knowing if you'll meet someone again. It's a
Oh, I
loaded
think
question.
I think it's so true. I think once queer people find themselves in a relationship, they're very scared to let it go because they're just like, will I find anyone else? Like it took me this long to find this one. Will I find one more? I don't know. That's how I felt for sure. I think I hung on to a lot of relationships thinking, this will be the end of it. I'll not know any other queer people if I break up with this person. So I do think that it ends up getting a little bit too important to us because we don't know how else to exist without those
Um,
relationships sometimes.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I think yeah, it does get a little bit I guess, get a little bit hard for us to leave our relationships, even if maybe they're sometimes unhealthy or toxic, because, you're just worried about how you can live outside of it.
True. And I think the thing to say is just be hopeful that you will meet other people because there are other people.
There are a lot of other people for sure.
Yeah. Next question is someone asked me if I'm straight, and that made me uncomfortable saying either yes or no. Is that okay?
Yeah, if you feel uncomfortable with it, that makes sense. I mean, it's a pretty, unfortunate question to even be asked. Like, are you straight? Like, I don't know. What do you think? Why are you asking me that question? You're already stuck. You just make up your mind and walk away. Like, yeah, for sure. It's an awkward question to be asked, for sure.
Somebody in the comments is saying, somebody in the comments saying, I'm dying, I'm going to die alone. A lot of queer people feel that.
Not,
I can
surely
relate.
not. Surely not going to die. Think about it. If you're straight, you'd be on shadi.com right now. So maybe this is better somehow, some small way. So, fine.
Pretty sure. Um, okay, how can one navigate through life if they're not out to their parents? Is it important to be out to them?
Um, honestly, this is not something I can answer. It's not something anyone can answer for you. It purely depends on your personal situation. But unless you have like the physical safety, financial independence, and some sort of support from other members of your family or your friends or anyone really, it's going to be a very difficult decision to come out to your parents because they do have a lot of power over you. And, if their reaction is negative in some way, it can like really adversely affect your physical and mental safety. So I don't think it's that important to come out to your parents unless it's something you want to do and if you're capable of doing it and you have the resources to do it. There's no pressure otherwise. Like no one expects you to be some martyr and just come out to everyone that you know. It's up to you.
Next one we have is how do you take care of yourself when you're feeling guilty for being queer? Because it's always such a problem to feel that one is doing something wrong by being themselves. Oh,
That's a very good one.
I know.
It's really, it's really good. I think I like in moments when I used to feel like that, I would love watching like really queer content, like YouTubers like that I really love, like Rose and Rosie and stuff like and Ali Hill, stuff like that. Because they normalize it to such an extent, you just feel like
Yep.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, and it's really nice to feel like that even for just a moment. So I think that yeah, we don't have a lot of other resources. It's not like we can go out to our best friend's house who's also queer and just like dish with them. It's not an option for some people sometimes. So I do think that online theaters and community spaces are a nice place to be to feel safe.
Or even your, I mean, we all can watch your content that way.
Or
You
we can
watch
all go
other
join as
content
well.
and
I think I'm going to go join now. Like, yeah, we can go do that also.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and again, these conversations are like the place for these conversations we wanted to be as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, which state of India are you from? Could you say something in your mother tongue?
This is it's not queer related. This seems to be like more of what is my lifestyle and I want to make queer content. But I'm from Karnataka, I'm from Bangalore. My mother tongue is Kannada.
So the next question is how to open up to people, like how to approach someone or find that the other person is interested.
How else will you find out if I love this question? Like everyone's like, how do you know if someone is gay? How do I know if they could be into me? I don't know. I spent 10 years trying to figure out if my high school crush was gay and could possibly be into me, like just a little bit in some. I also don't know. I think you just ask them and taste the
Yeah,
heart-wrenching connection if it's around the corner.
yeah. I think the best thing to do is just I don't know, ask them.
Ask them or just torture yourself. There's no other option really.
Yeah, or join as you are.
Or join as you are and
Sorry,
meet like verified
shameless plug-in.
people. No. I think shamelessly promoted. It's not me.
Okay. Next one. I love my mom so much that I couldn't even try to explain them that I belong to LGBT community. That's hard, more of a comment, I think. But yeah, I mean, I do completely agree with what you said about coming out. There's no pressure or there's no thing that you have to come out. You are the only person who can gauge your safety. And yeah, the three things that you mentioned, also something that I absolutely agree. Finish your education, make sure you're financially independent, have a support system, and if possible, run away to a different city and then come out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
that helped
that.
me. So, is there anything else that you want to add? Okay, there's one more question, I think. Yeah, well, that was a loaded question about self-care.
Okay, bring it on as though.
Oh, the same person is asking, what is your suggestion? Like, I couldn't come out to my mom.
Oh. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I think I mean, it's a really difficult situation to be in. Like, there's no right or wrong answer, but if you don't come out to your mom, you're going to end up lying to your mom for like a long time, and it'll make you uncomfortable. It'll put stress on your relationship. So, and you're not being fair to yourself by not coming out to someone who's so important to you and not sharing who you actually are with them. So, I think it's going to be something you consider doing until maybe finally you find some sort of relief by doing it, or you know, just finding yourself in a situation where that conversation can actually happen, hopefully. So,
Hmm.
yeah, hard to pick between yourself and your family sometimes. It's just a very guilty situation.
Just watch some queer content and take care of yourself when you feel that guilt.
Yeah.
So we have another question in the comments. The person is asking, how do you react if a straight person flirts with you?
I mean, it depends. Is it a woman flirting with me, a straight woman, or a straight man flirting with me? Both are equally uncomfortable in different ways. Because I do not want to be a lab rat experiment with a straight woman, and I'm really insulted that that man thought I would, be into him. So I think usually I try to be polite. If they're being a little too forward and creepy, then I will also be maybe a little harsh, rude, just because it's so annoying. But just try to be nice and tell them that you're not interested.
Yeah, I think just draw firm
It's a
boundaries
hard
and
line to be like, like politically correct about right now because if that actually happened to me, I think I'd just be like frothing at the mouth. It's like, oh, why? So I'm trying to be very polite right now.
another question, how to stop crushing over Prarthana?
This is really, I'm bad at taking this. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how else to react. Thank you.
That's a very Indian thing, I think. Not being
Yeah.
able to accept compliments. I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, our parents nowadays.
What do you do if you're feeling lonely and have absolutely zero friends and not ready to come out? Hmm.
Maybe find online spaces like as you are, where you could maybe keep a part of your identity anonymous until you're more
Yeah.
comfortable, and find people in the community. It would be nice.
Yeah, I think as queer people, we've all been in that place of being confused and being unsure if we want to come out, having nobody to talk to. And a lot of us who have access to internet have resorted to online places which didn't necessarily, like you were saying, no, there were stories, but none of them were really relatable unless you saw like one Desi and one Indian together. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, and it's a different experience if it's an Indian story that you're reading. It's, yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
again, go on.
yeah, for sure, for sure. It's a different experience when it actually feels Indian. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, any like within the last 5 minutes, any final things that you want to add?
Thank you so much for having me. I had a really great time with this conversation. I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about your app. I think before we did this live together, like I had no idea like who started it, what you guys really wanted to do. There was more of a community space than a dating thing. So I think I'm really really happy to been able to like be here and like talk to you and definitely find out more about as you as well. So yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for taking time and doing this. So I'm hoping you'll join the app and start promoting your content on our app also.
Oh yeah, sure.
Another avenue for queer people to take care of themselves.
Yeah,
Watch
for
Indian queer content.
that's a great way to
It was
do
really
it.
good having you. Yeah, it was really good
Yeah,
having you. Great talking to you.
lovely
So,
to speak to you. Okay, thank you.
thank you. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you for everyone who joined. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.